we'll keep it to 5-6 minutes for Gaston. You guys have some questions?
Gaston, if you can, talk a little bit about your performance out there. How happy are you with the performance?
Well, man, fighting at home is always, it's always a blessing. There's a lot of pressure always coming in, fighting at home in front of all my friends, family. Fighting at hometown, like I said, that brings a lot of pressure, but it also brings to the best performances that I've been here in San Jose. It was a great fight. We knew Nathan was going to come in strong. He was going to try to bang with me. And we knew that. We knew he had that main hook, and we were working on that check and just coming back with it. And that's what happens. You saw what happened tonight. I heard some people talking about an early stoppage. I just keep going until the ref tells me to stop. I'm not a ref. That's not my job. My job's to fight, and I would have kept going if Frank didn't stop the fight. So I believe it was a fair stoppage.
That was going to be my second question, if you thought it. So, I mean, at that point, though, did you feel that he was really hurt, that you heard him when he was going down?
100%. I feel like he was very hurt. In fact, he's never been dropped throughout his amateur career or his professional career. So it was definitely a shock to him that he got hurt that bad. And I wasn't going for easy shots here. I was going for very heavy ground and pound. So if Frank didn't stop it, we were just going to keep going. Until he did stop it, and in fact, I'm glad it was early, so he didn't have to take too much punishment. He's going to be able to come back in the cage sooner.
And I couldn't really hear if you actually called out a particular name or if you just called out the division. What was the call out you said there at the end?
Not calling out the division necessarily, but just letting everybody know me and my team are doing great things. CSA Gym, Dublin, California, we're doing great things out there. We have a whole team of killers, and we're all from all the divisions, and we're all coming up. I wasn't calling anybody in specific. That's not my style, to be honest with you. But I am working very hard every day at the gym, trying to get better, trying to improve all my areas. We knew Nathan was going to try to take us down, and we knew he was a fairly decent wrestler. He's had a lot of fights, a lot of tough fights, and we knew he was going to be game. We knew he was going to either try to bang with us. If he didn't have success there, he was going to try to go on the ground. You guys saw that. And you saw it more than just a kickboxer tonight, more than just a Muay Thai fighter. You saw more of a complete martial artist, and that led me to a knockout.
Anything else?
Yeah, I suspect that the MMA world in Peru is pretty excited for your win. But your family was here, and they were also extremely excited. How great was it for you to look out of the cage and see them cheering for you?
Well, like I said, fighting in San Jose is always a homecoming for me. As I lived only 30 minutes away from here, but this time was very special. My mom came here from Peru. I haven't seen her in almost 3 years. My grandma was here. My dad was here. My little brother was here. My whole family was basically here. We sold almost 200 tickets around the area, so we had probably more than 200 people cheering on me tonight, so I was truly blessed to have this opportunity. I just want to take a second to thank Scott Coker and Rich for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to doing it again soon. I have no injuries. I'm ready to go.
So you've had a very successful performance on the main card, and so now you're main card guy. You got a lot of eyes on you. So if you were pressured to name maybe a couple of names that might look interesting, people you've been studying, what can you say about that?
As I always say, I'm not somebody to call anybody out. Whoever Rich, Scott, and the whole Bellator team have in mind, I've never turned fights down. So whoever they want to put me in front of, we'll take that fight. It's not a big deal.
One more.
Phil, how closely did that play out to how you could have expected that fight? Did you surprise yourself with what happened out there?
Well, I tell you what, I knew Liam McGeary was very anxious to come out and make a statement, show that he's improved, to show that he wasn't the same guy that I previously fought. And I really expected him to do something very aggressive in the first period, and I expected to capitalize. And really, I was thinking it was going to be a first round finish in my head. And he really showed that his maturity. He was patient. He was aggressive, but he was patient. And I feel like that's what he was missing in the first fight was some patience. And he really showed that he has grown and was super patient, very aggressive, still working through his arsenal of techniques, but with patient was looking for his openings.
It looked like the kicking on the front leg was a big part of your game plan, was to try to maybe take that leg away from him. Can you talk a little bit about what your game plan was for him coming in?
Yeah, he's a tall guy. I'm 6'2" on a good day. He's 6'6", and he has real long legs, and he has a great jab. And so when he jabs, I have to be out of the way or I have to kick. And if he starts sticking his jab, it becomes a couple times he got going. He landed like 3 jabs in a row, and it becomes a very, very hard obstacle to get past in terms of range, in terms of mounting any offense behind that. So it was just my main goal was to take out his lead leg and make him second guess his jab. And make him hesitate before he threw it, and then I can set up my right hand, my hook, and the rest of my game.
I thought your striking looked really good tonight. I don't know if you were pretty happy with that. I thought it was some of the best striking that we'd seen from you in some time. Would you say that it was probably some of your best striking that you've had in a while?
This fight was special for me. I just felt very in tune with my skill set. I felt like I was very capable of everything I wanted to accomplish. I knew what I wanted to do, and I felt completely confident in what I was going to do. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I think this is probably one of my favorite fights in terms of striking.
I think the crowd got excited in the third once you went to your wrestling. Was it in your game plan to go into the later rounds to finally use your wrestling, or was it just the opportunity presented itself?
Using my wrestling, it's always a matter of make the guy think I want to strike, and then wrestle. And it's always the surprise factor. I'm a national champion. I'm always going to go to wrestling. I'm just always going to wrestle. That's just it's in my blood. That's what I'm going to do. And if I can convince a guy that we're only going to strike, that's when I'm going to wrestle. And so. After the first fight, I took him down every single round. He's prepared. He spent the last 2 months, 3 months, 4 months preparing for, being taken down. And when you convince him, hey, I think we're just going to strike tonight, that's when we're going to wrestle.
So apparently there was that jaw injury that he had, which caused the stoppage. And I guess, I'm not sure if he said it or people noticed that while watching the fight that it could have actually taken place somewhere in the second round. Mm. Did you notice yourself that this was happening, that he was more injured than as far as whether that injury was something that you aimed for or made you change your approach?
Yeah, no, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea. He was hurt. He got a good poker face. Didn't let me in on any of the excitement. But I tell you what I did notice. While I was trying to finish him, I went under his chin and he tapped before I could really sink in the choke. And I have a good idea for the level of competitor that he is. And he's top notch. And I felt like that was weird that the choke wasn't in, but he started tapping. So I knew right away that something was amiss. And sure enough, he had a broken jaw. And so, I mean, it makes sense. I didn't know in the moment what was going on. I would have went to it sooner had I known, come to think of it. But, I was just competing tough. And I went for a rear naked choke, and he tapped immediately as soon as I tried to get my hand under his chin.
Got it. And as far as you getting back to title contention, how do you see that path going? Do you have to get Nemkov again, or what do you want to do?
I'll take whatever path. I don't really know. and I'm not going to pretend like I make decisions, but I do want to put some pressure on the champion. He's a great guy, he's a great champion, and I'm thoroughly impressed with him taking his second belt. It takes a special athlete to be able to do that, and I do want to say congratulations to him, but I also want to say I want that belt.
One of the things, great performance tonight, Phil. I think it was one of your best striking, and you're so difficult to beat anyway. You're so comfortable in there. One of the things Scott Coker was saying earlier in the week was that he thinks that Ryan Bader will probably fight Czech Congo first to defend the heavyweight belts. How frustrating might that be for you to have, perhaps wait out till the end of the year? And would you ask them to give you an interim? I know these, is there anything, because you don't want to stay inactive, I assume.
No, I want to beat people up. I liked it. It is frustrating, but you and I were talking kind of candidly, and it really is. You have to take a step back, and you have to be a fan of this sport, and you have to put yourself in the other guy's shoes. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to do what he did and go up to heavyweight and become a 2-division champion. And I can't. And furthermore, he beat me to do it, and so I always check my ego at the door. At least I try to. And he wouldn't be in this position had he not beat me up. So kudos to him. And I kind of have to take the back seat, wait my turn if I want that fight. But I do want that fight. And nothing wrong with saying you want that fight. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Tim, could you go down a little? What? Just maybe just a hair.
You guys ask good questions, okay?
Don't bully us now, yeah? We know.
Just saying.
Don't let him bully us, all right?
Do you want to call me sometime? No, I'm good.
All right.
Let's do it.
Like awesome questions.
Questions for Benson.
What were you thinking before they announced the scores? I mean, were you nervous about it?
Right before they announced the scores, I was a little bit. I think I was thinking that I started too slow.
Were you surprised at how good he was?
No, I definitely wasn't surprised at how good Adam was. I know Adam was tough. The big rising star coming out of AKA, the next big hot thing. He did take a couple losses in a row, but he bounced back from that the way you're supposed to. If you want to be a champion, if you want to be the best in the world, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have some setbacks. That's how you bounce back from that. And he bounced back great. Come off 2 wins in a row, and he looked good in those 2 wins. So I think he improved a lot. Did what he was supposed to do. So I knew he was going to be a tough fight. I knew, come from AKA, all the accolades, big rising star. I knew he was going to be tough. So I definitely didn't take Adam lightly. I definitely didn't sleep on Adam. I knew he was going to be a tough fight.
Now, you took your back several times in the fight. You obviously got him hanging on you for a while, but then you just let yourself go and you fall back. It's almost like in a relaxed state. Is that like something that you prepare for when you're in that position to just?
Well, in grappling in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you definitely is better served if you are more relaxed. If you know the positions, you know the danger spots. Hey, I really can't allow this. I shouldn't let this happen. Should have been on my back in the first place, but he's on your back. What's done is done. How do you answer back from there? How do you reply? Stay calm, relax, or do you freak out and go crazy, put your hands up and then get choked? Or do you say relax, stay calm, grab the one hand, don't let go of that one hand. He can't choke you with one hand, so just keep 2 hands on one hand. He can't choke you with one hand. And then just relax and slowly work your way out from there. I didn't bait to him the head and arm, but head and arm happened to be there for him. He took the head and arm. That is the easier position. That's the easier submission to actually escape from. The back is actually harder to escape from unless he makes a mistake, unless he does something. So he went for the head and arm. It gave me the opportunity to get out of there. I got up and out. A little bit worked up after that. I tried to go get him.
Yes, you did.
Is that one of the most pleasing performances from you in recent times? Because in many ways, I think you maybe won the fight because everything you did was so clean and so efficient. I mean, you are like that, but you went everywhere that you could go in an MMA fight. In those 15 minutes.
That's a great part. I do love the fact that when you have an MMA fight, you actually do MMA. You don't have an MMA fight where you do just boxing. Or you don't have an MMA fight that you do just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You don't have an MMA fight that you do just wrestling. I love actually being a part of the fights where you have some good boxing, some good Muay Thai, some good elbows, some good wrestling, some good Jiu-Jitsu. I do love being a part of those fights. Those fights I tend to enjoy. I tend to do pretty well in those fights too. But I do like that. But no, I wouldn't say I was happy with the otherwise performance of it. I think looking back, I just started too slow. Or actually, I think I watched the first round. I think I tried so hard, so much. I focused on not starting slow that I rushed some positions, and that's what allowed him to take my back in the first place in that first round. So it wasn't me starting too slow. It was me trying to overcome starting too slow, and that made the mistake of him slipping to my back. Took me down, top of my back, is because I was trying to push the pace and get after it, not start slow. Like, don't start slow, don't start slow, don't start slow. Then getting after it, and then,
but when you got
make
up,
mistakes.
But when you got up in that first round, you went after him, and it was almost like you were breaking him at that moment. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yep. Like I said, I was able to watch just the first round. I saw where he went for the head and arm. I was able to pop up from the head and arm. I got away, and I went after him. I was a little bit mad, and I was a little bit upset. When guys go for submissions, or guys have just when guys are in a better position than you, for me that makes me upset. You can go back as far back as Bocek. Bocek had me in a couple of bad positions. He went for like an arm or something like that, and he had me in a bad position, and that tends to oh, you shouldn't even be in the position in the first place. I'm better than that. I should not give up that position. I don't think. So that's what makes me kind of upset, and definitely.
But you're a name and a target for everyone who fights you, and that's that's a privilege in a way, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think I am aware. If I used to go into a gym anywhere in the country, a jiu-jitsu gym or a boxing gym or a MMA gym, I know everyone in there is going to try to beat me up. They're trying to give it to me. But I'm aware of that. I do know, I have that bullet on my back, and I'm going to have that on my back for the rest of my life. I can be 60 years old and go into a gym, and then guys will be like, oh, I wonder if Henderson brought his gi. I wonder if he'll roll around with me. Dude, I'm like 60 years old. No, I'm not going to roll around with you, sucker. But I'm going to have that bullet on my back for the rest of my life. So it's actually a challenge right now. I do enjoy. I do appreciate. I like having that challenge. I like having the bullet on my back. It's something I worked hard to get. I worked hard to be the person that, I walk into an MMA gym. I walk into a wrestling gym somewhere. And all these I walk into a high school gym. My boys practice. His son's practice. Went to a wrestling school, and all these high school kids were looking at me like you had to lick their chops. Like, oh, is Henderson going to roll around? Is he going to wrestle a little bit? I was like, boy, get out of here. You guys are too young for me. You beat me up and make me sad. So no, I'm not wrestling.
One or two more, guys?
I know we typically always ask you how you're going to celebrate, but I know you have big things at the house getting ready to happen for you. Congratulations again on that.
Thank you, man.
Have you talked to the wife? Did she give you any critiques of tonight's performance?
My wife is the most critical person in my entire life. She knows what she's talking about. Is the bad thing too. That's the hard part. She's like, oh yeah, you turn this way when you went this way, and that's how you got on your back. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I did do that. That's correct. But yeah, I talked to my wife. I FaceTimed her right away afterwards. I got some good pointers from her on what not to do, what to do. But yeah, she's due next week, so I got about a good 2-3 months of no sleep coming up.
So considering the different skills that both you guys put on display tonight, this was a bit of an instant classic. I mean, you could tell from the fan reaction, it was really one of the highlights of the night. What would you tell Scott Coker as far as encouraging him to give maybe a fight of the night bonus or that sort of a thing?
Scott gives me more than enough money. I'm not going to ask him for any more money. If he wants to sign me a little extra, I'll take it, but I'm not going to ask Scott for any more money. He gives me a lot of money. I will say, though, that is something I'm actually pretty happy about. Not happy with my performance. I think it was not a great performance. I think I got my hand raised. I did just enough to get my hand raised. I'll take it. The guy, kicks me and I break his shin on my kneecap. I'll take the win. It's not normal. It's not usual, but I'll take it any way I can get it. But I am happy that the crowd enjoyed the fight. I am happy that it got people talking. There was a big buzz about how backdoor the fight was, how good of a fight was, yada yada yada. I do like being a part of good fights. I do love being a part of big fights and having people talk about it and having the fans engage and this and that. I love giving all of myself to the fans, and I love having that appreciation back. You know, I don't do this so that no one watches. I don't do this so that no one appreciates it and then watches the fight and be like, oh, yeah, cool. I do this so that I can be like, man, that was a great fight. Oh, that was really, really close. You know, I might have gave it to Adam a little bit, but it was a great fight. Good job, awesome. You know, yada yada. I like that. I actually do enjoy that. So I'm glad it was a big fight, a good fight, and fans loved it.
And one more quick one. One fighter that has also a victory over Adam, who is also coming off a win, is going to Yamauchi, and he expressed that he would love to face you next. What are your thoughts on that?
Above my pay grade, as they say. I'll let Scott Coker, Mike Kogan, Rich Chow, those boys set it up. You know, for me, I want they fight next week, 2 weeks from now. Chandler and Pitbull, the winner of that. But if not, whoever. If they want to give me somebody else, no problem. I'll keep. If I beat 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people along the way to getting that belt around my waist, fine by me, no problem. I'll beat the entire roster on my way to getting the belt around my waist. And then I'll get the belt around my waist and then be like, oh, well, who are you going to face now? You're going to beat everybody else. That's your guys' problem. It doesn't matter to me whether I beat him up before I have the belt or after I get the belt. I'm getting the belt. I'm just going to be around my waist. And you guys are all going to be interviewing me talking about that right now.
Hey, Ben, at your last fight, you made a stance about a friend of yours, kid that was fighting for his life. I'd just like a quick update. Is that a touchy subject?
No. There were a couple of times I'm not quite sure who you're talking about now. I had a friend whose son committed suicide. That was a couple of fights ago.
It was his baby, I believe. You were here.
Oh,
The t-shirts.
Yes, the t-shirts.
Emily. She passed away. She did not make it. She lived way longer than predicted, but it was tough for the family, and she ended up passing away.
Sorry.
Tradition.
Hey. Sorry. Hello. Hi.
So, Lima Light, congratulations on retaining the title. I know this is not the way you were hoping to. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't the way you were hoping to. When you landed the elbow on Vita and you noticed how profusely she was bleeding, did you think they may stop it at all?
So actually, when I landed that elbow, and that was like the one elbow I threw, I actually heard it sounded like bone cracking. I heard that one, but I didn't even know she was bleeding until we stood up and I saw the blood just pouring out. I didn't know it was that bad until Jason stopped the fight, and then I was like, oh, this actually might go to doctor stoppage.
Yeah. Was there anything about her striking or her pressure that threw you off a little, or just impressed you overall in the fight?
Not necessarily with her striking. It was more so her wrestling defense. You could tell that's what they did for their camp in preparation for me. Preparing for my takedowns against the cage, out in the open. So I was actually really impressed with that. She had a really solid rock star stance. That's what we call it. So it was a little bit more difficult to take her down. But as far as her striking, I mean, she did the same stuff that she normally does. I was expecting that.
And sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Oh, well, I did remember asking you about the atmosphere of the Bay Area during the day. So what did you think of it overall? And that was a great entrance, by the way, honoring your culture and everything. So what did you think of tonight's atmosphere?
It was super cool. I mean, we were, and then afterwards we were sitting in the back watching videos, and I'm just like, you look so beautiful to my water protector women that danced me out. Just being able to see, the video footage of everything, I was like, this is incredible. It's truly the Shark Tank, like they're dressed in blue, the water theme, the graphics behind us was just amazing. So yeah, it was a really awesome atmosphere. Even the crowd, you could feel the vibes and everything, and yeah, you know, they were disappointed. They're just like, yeah, I know that they wanted to see more, and I totally agreed with them. So I understand the crowd's frustration. You know, nobody wants to get a doctor stoppage in a championship fight, you know, and especially somebody like Vita, who's just a warrior. She would have fought with a cracked skull, you know, she would have kept going. So I understand everyone's frustration, but other than that, the vibes were amazing. I would love to come back to the Shark Tank.
Awesome. Thanks, Luna.
Did you talk to her afterwards?
No, actually, I heard that she had to go to the hospital. Like they could see her skull. That's what I heard. So I didn't get a chance to see her after, but I did say in her ear, you know, right before they did the announcement at the end of the fight, I did say, "You got the rematch, girl. Let's do it." So, yeah, but I could tell that her in her corner was really frustrated.
And how are you physically? There was some speculation on press row that you might have broken your nose.
No, dude, okay, so I have a flat Hawaiian nose. We call it upepe nose. I got it from my mom. And I swear, like, no matter how many times I get punched in the nose, it doesn't break. It'll bleed, but I've never had a broken nose. It doesn't even hurt, you know, so I guess that's good genetics. Thanks, Mom. But yeah, like, everything feels fine. Even my elbow, my elbow was probably more sore against Valerie Letourneau, you know, but everything feels fine. I have a little mat burn on my knee, but other than that, everything's good.
And when would you like to run this back?
So like timeline wise, I normally fight in the winter season. You know, it's either November or December, and I fight twice a year. So I'm hoping that it'll be the same. You know, that's just what I like to do. But you know, and I'm also taking a couple vacations like I normally do after all of my fights. I'm moving into a new house pretty soon that I want to do some work on. I have a mortgage to pay now, so
you closed.
I'm putting it out of the universe. Hopefully, the inspection was yesterday, and I literally just got an email with the inspection report. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till Monday to look at that. But yeah, I mean, I'm planning on moving into the house this summer, so I think it'll be nice to kind of take a little break. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we can run it back. Maybe if we take it back to Hawaii, I still don't know if we're gonna do it, but that would be really dope.
When I talked to you earlier in the week, you said you were extremely calm and it was making you nervous.
Yeah.
Did that last, or at what point did it, you know?
Yeah, it did. It still made me nervous because, like I said, I just felt flat. So we were warming up in the back, and I told my coach, I'm like, you guys, my legs are really tired for some reason, and they're like, we think you might be having an adrenaline dump. And so I was that's when I started getting nervous in the back, that maybe I was like way too calm fight week, you know, not enough meltdowns happening. So yeah, I really did feel flat in those first couple of rounds. So yeah, maybe I need to have more meltdowns. I think that's like what makes me fight better, fight night.
Galima, congratulations. Scott Coker is saying behind the scenes that Hawaii is on the cards again for December.
Woo!
I mean, you and Vita in Hawaii, obviously her style, and the fact you were behind on the cards when you won. Two things there really. How good would it be to take this kind of fight to Hawaii in December?
Oh man, Hawaii would love this. They love their scrappers. So I know Vita would be popular. Like the Vita rematch, I know the crowd would love it, the fans would love it. So I think that's actually perfect. Like I almost feel like this was meant to happen, you know, because Vita and I were supposed to see each other in an atmosphere like in Hawaii, you know, a historical, monumental place. So I think this was supposed to happen.
You were, it was 1919 on two of the judges' cards, and you were down 2018 on the other judges' cards. Were you aware when you were in the fight that you needed to claw back into the fight? Were you calm about that whole thing?
Yeah, so I actually consider myself a slower starter. And you know, there's something about that third round. So my last three fights have finished in the third round. So 3 was like the magic number for me this fight. And I was saying in the interviews when they asked for my predictions, I was like, it's gonna be a finish in like the first 3 rounds, like second or third round is gonna be a finish. So yeah, I do consider myself a slower starter, and even my corners, Bill Crawford, Manuel Hernandez, when they sat down, they're like, all right, you're a little behind, so let's pick it up, let's wake up. So yeah, I knew what was going on, and I was kind of just picking my shot. I was just waiting for my moment. I knew it would happen. It's always about like waiting for that moment and capitalizing on it. So again, like that was literally the one strike that I threw in her guard. It was that one elbow, so it's just make the most of it.
And you, is that the toughest fight? Have you learned the most in that fight, or all your fights so far?
Yeah, and I would say too, like, there was so much buildup about how she wanted to knock me out and like her striking and everything, how she's such a striker, like brawler, that I actually was like, well, I don't want to stand with her. I'm going to fucking try to take her down as fast as possible. But then when I realized, like, what am I talking about? I'm a good-ass striker. I can stand up with her. I was knocking her, I was like, that's when I started calming down and, like, just started feeling relaxed and just having confidence in myself. So I think that's what I learned the most from this fight, is to have confidence that I am a freaking good striker. Even though my jiu-jitsu game's on point, I'm a grappler, like, I can strike.
Thank you. Was there a period, like late in the first round or anything like that, where you kind of felt a little bit tired just because you were going so hard on the wrestling in the first part of the first round?
Oh yeah, especially, like I said, she had really good wrestling defense, and I do like to use the cage a lot. So when she would hit that rock star stance super hard, and I made me really, really work for those takedowns, yeah, I got really tired. And then her corner was also kind of like messing with my head, because they were like, she's so tired. And I was just like, shut up. So that was pretty good cornering on their end. It was kind of messing with me, but yeah, for sure. Like, even though I am a wrestler, chain wrestling is really difficult, especially grinding and trying to get someone down who has that wide stance. So yeah, we definitely, normally my corners and we don't even talk about the fight afterwards, but immediately after in the back, I was like, this is what we need to work on. This is what I need to work on. I want to do this for preparation for her, because we know I'm going to fight her next. So I'm like, this is exactly what I need to do, because yeah, they prepared very well for me.
When you look
One or
back,
two more, guys.
When you look back at your preparation, and you say it's about being a sharp, and you were sharp, you were a vicious finisher. I mean, Rory said something interesting today. After this post-fight interview, he doesn't know if he's got the desire to really hurt people anymore. And he really showed you serious damage on your opponent. When you look back, it may not be now, you may not know yet, but when you look back on your camp and it was about water and being a shark, and being underwater a lot, did that help you in the fight, do you think?
Yeah, because it's a very, very, it's a lot of mental training, and so I was down on the scorecards. I was losing this fight, I felt physically tired. I felt like I had adrenaline dump. I was gassed, but I was just like, there's no way. I have to do something, And so it was very calculated. Like, that elbow really was, I was like, all I need to do is land one good strike from the top, because her guard was really strong, actually. So I was like, all I need to do is just land, And so, yes, like, I felt like a shark tonight. I split her head open. She said she's going to knock me out. I'm like, well, it looks like I sent you to the hospital this time, so whatever's. And now I have a mortgage to pay. Well, crossing my fingers, I have a mortgage to pay. So I'm like, I will take that doctor stoppage win, for sure.
Last one.
Now, you said you want to run it back, and normally most fighters would take that win and call it a day, but fighter to fighter, what makes you want to give her that opportunity?
She deserves it, man. She's a warrior. Like I said, her face can be split open. You can see the skull, and she'll still be like, no, I'll fight. And I was almost going to be like, so if both fighters agree, like, can we just keep the fight going? Like, how does that work? So yeah, I think she totally deserves it. She gave me a freaking good ass fight. So yeah, like, we're for sure going to run it back. I think the only thing that will prevent that is, like, an injury of some sort or something,
Thanks, champ.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
After party at Ben's Lounge. Just no short sleepers.
Thank you. Testing. Hey guys, let's just open it up for some questions.
So, what did you think as far as when the Fitch fight was over? Were you watching close enough? You're squinting in your head, or were you just kind of,
Honestly, I was watching it as a fan and not really, calculating who won each round. So I wasn't calculating those numbers in my head, and really some of those rounds were tough to call. So I'm glad that I wasn't a judge in that fight.
How do you feel about the outcome?
I think that, listen, when you put it in the State Athletic Commission's hands to judge, that's what they do, and I think they called it the way they saw it.
Do you think the judges did a good job, though?
I think that it's control versus damage versus control of the effectiveness in the beginning of the round, and every judge is going to have his own style, And like I said, there's some times in the fight where I wasn't really watching it like a judge. I was looking at it more as a fan. So, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the California State Athletic Commission. I thought that the fight was a fight. The judges called the way it was, and that's where it's at.
Is there could there be a problem, Scott, with that's a very talking about Rory and Jon obviously. It was a very physically demanding fight, very tough fight. Rory even admitted after, as I just mentioned, that you probably heard it, that he needs to look inside himself to see whether he really wants to damage people anymore, Is there any concern that he may not be physically ready for June the 14th to fight Neiman Gracie?
Yeah, that's always a concern, but we'll circle back with their trainers and their management early next week. And as far as the comments, listen, he was in a all-out war tonight. He had to dig deep to win that fight, and it was I think that when you have a fight, you have to dig that deep. I mean, sometimes it takes something out of you, and I think that was his comments after the fight. He's very emotional, and I think that he was looking inward and seeing reflect the future. But listen, if he wants to fight, he'll fight. If he doesn't want to fight, then that's going to be okay. We're not going to make anybody fight that doesn't want to.
If for whatever reason he doesn't want to fight, would Fitch come back in, or would that be something you got to figure out?
Yeah, that's something we got to figure out. But we'll do it relatively quick manner because we're expecting Rory to fight Neiman at this point, and if that changes on Monday or Tuesday, we'll let you know right away. And I think that we have the alternate in place. We have a survivor rule we can exercise, so we'll let you guys know right away.
So it's pretty obvious that Rory is a champion because he didn't lose the belt despite the draw. But as far as the tournament, what's the rule that says that he's advancing despite not winning?
Because Rory did not lose the fight. You have to beat the champ to get the belt, and whoever the decision was early on when there's a draw, the champ will continue, and that's what happened tonight.
But that would happen if one of the fighters is a champ. So if there are two non-champs fighting and they came to a draw, then what would be the
then we have another. The decision of the judges would have to make a call.
Okay.
The judges would have to make a call at that point, and they know that. But because this was a champion fight, and just like boxing, I mean, the champ doesn't lose the belt or advance because he didn't get beat. So on the scorecards, he didn't get beat, and that's why Rory's moving forward.
Speaking of champs, you have your champ, Ali Malay, wins the fight and then immediately calls for a rematch for the person that she just beat. Does that make your job easier, or is that something that you guys already considered that fight because of how it played out?
I tell you, it's something that we would definitely consider. But we're bringing more females in this division, and we're going to be signing more girls for her to fight. And I know Ilima feels like she wants to have a superior performance, and Vetta's a tough fighter, and we knew that coming. That she's a girl that's going to be in your face, and she's going to bring it. She's not scared. Even when that cut happened, and she's like, I'm ready. Like she's a warrior. So. Ilima would love to fight her again. To me, it was a Muay Thai elbow that she dropped on there. That was it was perfectly clean, fair shot, and it cut her open, and the fight stopped. But I think that that was turning out to be a great event, great fight.
What other opponents did you have in mind for her? Granted, you don't do the rematch.
Well, I can't talk about that right now, but we could maybe talk in a couple weeks about that.
Gaston Bolanos was a fighter who had a great performance and keeps, on his winning ways. You think it's time for him to maybe get a step up in competition, maybe get one of the top guys?
I think that every time he fights, I think his competition steps up. I don't think his opponent has ever been stopped. And Gaston is a guy that, what I love about him is he's continuing to get better and better and better. And, when you can do Muay Thai the way he does and fight, stand up and do MMA the way he's learning, I'm proud of the kid. I think he's got great potential. But I think we have been stepping him up. But yeah, I mean, at some point he's gonna have to really step up to fight some of the top guys and test himself. But he will kickbox as well, so he's gonna be very busy. And we'll talk to Carrion next week sometime and find out what they want to do.
Scott, Phil Davis obviously put in a brilliant performance tonight, one of his best striking performances we've ever seen. He wasn't shouting at you, but he said, "I really want to fight for the belt now." Obviously, you've said that Ryan Bader, Ryan Bader will fight, will defend the heavyweight title.
Don't worry. Ryan Bader's not going to be available, but Ryan's available. So.
Just throw him in. Obviously, he's going to defend the heavyweight title against Czech Congo, you said, next. So, what do you do with Phil? I mean, how do you keep a guy...
Well, we keep him busy. We'll give him another good fight. I mean, I think he had a fight with Demkov, and maybe we have a rematch, there. Bader will fight in a matter of the next 3 months or so. So he will be active fighting.
Has come available, so could that be in France?
You know what? That fight will not be in France.
Okay.
Sorry. And I'm not even sure about the legality of France yet. So I heard it's going to be in September sometime. But I think Bader will fight Congo sometime late summer. We'll have something announced soon. And then, we'll ask him to come back and fight at 205. And if he doesn't, then he can stay at heavyweight and then let somebody else fight for the belt. But he will have the opportunity to fight for both.
So in regards to international plans, there's hot spots that we've talked about. There's, say, Brazil, Russia, East Asia, the Colosseum in Rome. I mean, what can you say about some of these things?
I mean, we kicked off a great European series in the UK, starting with the Newcastle fight, a sold-out event. We went to Dublin, sold-out event, had some great fights. We're coming up on next week, Birmingham, then London. We're going to put some amazing fight cards on in Europe. And then, once we kind of get that series going, which is now getting good momentum over there, it's nice to have a broadcast partner like Channel 5, which is really like CBS here, and then also Sky Sports carry all the events from here. Like tonight's fight will be on Sky Sports live in the UK because you guys know all the keyboard warriors that were upset because they couldn't see it live in the UK. I heard from all of them, so it's a great feeling to not have to worry about that.
No more Peppa Pig.
Yes, no more Peppa Pigs. That will go down in MMA history at some point. But it's a good feeling to have such a great support. I mean, I think that when you talk about the UK and Ireland, you're talking about the best combat sports TV distribution that's available up there between the two networks. So we're doing a lot of good work over there, and then we will switch it to maybe taking our series and creating a Latin American series as well as an Asian series. So this will be a company in the next 2 years. We'll do probably 50 events a year, and we're going to create a localized series for the local endemic audience there to grow the homegrown talent, to see fights in their time zone with the fighters that they like to watch.
One or two more?
Rasmus just talked about it. I mean, I know that for years it's been illegal, so you're actually looking at going there or something?
We're monitoring it, let's put it that way. I know that our legal department is talking to Government Affairs Department of ICOM, who's talking to the government in France. So there's some dialogue, but I'm not really too familiar with it. I know that there are people working on it from the VICOM level at the highest, corporate level. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Scott.
What was it like in the cage after that bizarre finish?
Actually, it was a little crazy for me because I thought that Fitch won the fight. All respect to Rory, he's a great champion, but I think that Fitch won the fight tonight. And I was already talking to him, saying that I was waiting for him in June. So it is what it is, you know. I'm waiting for Rory now, and I'll be ready. I can't wait to train on Monday.
Do you reckon he's going to be ready on June the 14th?
It's not up to me, man. I hope he is, you know. I want to fight the champion. I want to fight for the belt, so I hope he's ready, because I will be.
How did you have it scored?
I think Fitch won the first, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. He lost.
4-1.
Yeah, he lost the second round, I think.
Based on what you saw of Rory tonight,
Yeah.
How do you think your fight will go?
It's hard to say, you know. Everybody has different styles, but I think that Fitch showed how to beat him, I think. So, and I'm different than Fitch is, you know. If I take someone down, I'm not gonna stop on someone's guard. I will go for the finish, and I'll get a good position, and I'll finish the fight on the floor. That's the difference.
If you had somebody that you were coaching or a fellow fighter, if they had told you, I don't know if I can hurt people anymore, I'm having doubts about this, what would you tell them?
It's hard to say, you know. Like, take your time and rethink what you want to do. You know, it's up to him. I think he still wants to hurt people. I saw he trying to hurt Fitch pretty bad tonight, you know. So I think it's bullshit. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Neiman, if you can stick around, we're gonna have you do a face-off photo with Rory. Okay. He's on his way.
Could be better. Could have, 9 pounds of metal around my waist right now. But I'm the people's champ.
What were you thinking as you were standing in the cage afterwards?
Thought I won. Thought I did enough to win. It was a tough fight. It was a good fight. It was fun. But, yeah, judges didn't see it the way I thought it was going. I don't know. 2 judges called a draw. 1 judge thought I won it. So I don't know. In my head, I won it. So, whatever. Not much you can do about it. It doesn't make or break me. Yeah, good performance. Got some stitches to take home with me. So I'm not leaving empty-handed.
Did you think it was tied up going into the 5th?
Man, I don't even know. I was just taking it 5 minutes at a time. 5-minute sprints.
You won that fight.
So, yeah.
Did you talk to Scott?
Just in the cage a little bit. That's how I was feeling. That's about all. But yeah, going into the 5th, my corner was telling me we definitely had to win the round, try to finish, make sure to seal the deal. But yeah, just I don't know, tie.
Very good tie.
When the fight was over, just from watching everyone's body language, I sensed that you thought you had no reservations, and not even were thinking it was closer.
I thought split decision, but I definitely thought I did enough to win. I thought the crowd's reaction was indicating that they thought I won. I don't know, just thought I did enough to do it.
In one of those rounds, we noticed that your leg kind of buckled, and we saw you kind of.
He caught me once good.
Yeah. So yeah, just what's going on there?
He must have got me behind the ear or something. But yeah, I got dizzy for a second. But I recovered quick, so.
Was that round 1? Or 4?
No.
4.
Yeah, when I took it kind of.
Right.
Step back.
Now, in round 1, you got hit right away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did it take you a little while to recover from it, or was that?
No, I was pleased because he didn't hit hard. Like, I can take these. My coaches were telling me to move my head, but I was like, I'm going to get him tired. The more he punches me in the face, the more he's going to get tired. Some strategy, guys.
Jon, it sounds like you might have ground a lot of. Scott Coker said it might have been an emotional response from Rory afterwards. But it sounds like you might have ground a lot of fighting life out of Rory in that tonight. Because he said he's not sure he wants to hurt people anymore.
I have that effect on people. there's I have a long list of guys who didn't perform as well as they did before they fought me, after they fought me.
No, it was a brilliant performance by you. I want to add that. Are you disappointed that it's not you moving on to face Neiman, because you clearly look ready to go in on June 14th? And if he can't do it, do you think you should step in and fight on June 14th?
Well, man, yeah, if he can't do it, I guess that would be the way to go. I'm in a weird dilemma. I told myself, I made a promise to myself that before I fought Jake Shields, because I was having a lot of medical issues, neck, and I had a bad brain scan, that if I lost that fight, I was done, and it was going to be the end for me. So I won, so I kept going, and I made the same promise with myself every fight. So I'm in a position right now where I didn't lose, so technically I don't know if I should keep that promise to myself or not, but there's a good chance this was my last fight.
You didn't lose.
But I didn't lose, yeah. So if I get offered the Neiman Gracie fight, it's going to be hard to turn down an opportunity to win $1 million. And another chance to win a belt, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But you looked as fresh and as good as you've ever looked tonight against a guy that people consider probably pound for pound to be the leading welterweight.
I'm having fun again, man. It's fun. It's hard. I mean, I'm a lot older, so I've been doing it 17 years. It used to be every hour of training I needed an hour to rest. Now I need 2. So it's a lot of work to keep it up. The discipline with the diet, keeping schedules. I got 2 kids I got to take care of at the same time also. So, it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of other things I'd like to put my time into, but it's hard to walk away from good opportunities, especially when I'm having fun, and I'm definitely having fun right now.
And when kind of probably 75-80% of people thought you just won, and you feel like you won as well.
Yeah, I think there's, I was joking around, I'm gonna buy my own belt, People's Champ, I just wear that around. But my phone's blowing up. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from everybody who watched it. The crowd was booing at the end when they announced the decision, and they announced Rory was moving forward. Tried to calm everybody down, but I think I had a lot of support. A lot of people thought I won the fight. It's a good fight. The props to Rory. He's a tough guy.
Any part of you want a rematch?
I don't know. I'm on the fence about walking away. I've done a lot in this sport. 42 fights, 42 professional fights, 2 amateur fights. 17 years of training. I started wrestling at 9. So I've been banging heads and getting after it for a really long time.
Jon, you say you're kind of on the fence about walking away. How will that decision be made for you? Will it be with your wife? Will it be with family? Will it be with...
It's not really around anymore.
Or your girlfriend? Or
no, it's just up to me and what I feel like doing and how I want to do things. I want to get some pictures taken of some stuff to see how my body's holding up. I can't straighten my arms anymore. It's not so good. They did the measurement for your reach the other day. I've lost an inch in the last couple of years somewhere.
Good to lose an inch.
So it's not a good thing. But yeah, it's fun though. I have fun doing it. It's just if we could bypass the training camp somehow and just skip ahead and just go to the fight, that'd be pretty cool.
So you'd like to hear pretty soon if Rory's available and what the options might be?
Well, the tournament's going on, so he's either going to be fighting Gracie in the tournament, or he's injured and he can't continue, and then I think I'd consider just stepping in. Be a fun challenge, fighting Gracie in New York. Sounds pretty cool.
Would you be ready June 14th?
I'm not getting any younger. What am I going to wait around for?
The inches are reducing.
Yeah, inches are reducing. I might be 72 by the time we get to September. Walking around like this.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're good to go. I'll open up for questions.
I guess everyone's been kind of asking to clean the cage, and the whole world's kind of wondering, have you thought about what you just said and what you meant, I would say, as far as wondering about your future and fighting?
Yeah, I can't really give a definitive answer. It's like an hour after like the experience, and I just mostly was waiting for my doctor and stuff, talking with my team. But I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna, see what God has in store for me. See what doors open up. But my plans right now are to go to the next stage and compete against Neiman.
Was that ever in doubt? Was that ever in doubt?
Oh, to go against Neiman?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
But it was an emotional response when you said that to your performance?
I was just being like,
in the moment,
I was expressing what I felt in my heart.
Yeah.
That I felt like I was going through, and just trying to be honest.
How did you have the fight? Were you scoring in your head?
Yeah, I knew that because he was controlling a lot, like it was going to be a close fight. I knew that I did a lot of damage, and I was probably up 3 rounds to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Was there any doubt in your mind when they were putting you in the center of the cage to read the decisions?
Oh yeah, I mean, just when it's a judge's decision to call the fight, you never know. You could win 5 rounds and still lose a judge's decision. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really put too much thought into it. That's it.
What do you? What was your interaction like with Neiman afterwards? He told us he was expecting to talk to Jon, and then they announced the decision.
Oh yeah, it was pretty respectful. He just said, God bless you, and he said nice, very polite man. It was cool to meet him. He's a nice guy.
As far as your physical health, do you think everything is in place for you to be at New York City?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have a little cut. Should heal up, and I should take the stitches out in a week.
Mm-hmm.
A week after that, it should be back to normal. I got swollen elbow. That should go down pretty fast.
Is this the first time something like this has happened to you in the cage after a fight? This sort of feeling?
Maybe a little bit in the gay guard, but it was also, I prepared hard for this fight. I trained hard, and I prepared myself to fight hard. But it's a little different because I don't know. It was a different experience. So yeah, maybe it is a bit original.
You said to me in the past 10 weeks of your life that your spirituality has been exploding. Like there's been this increasing devotion, daily practice, reading the Bible every day, trying to be like Jesus. How much, if anything, does that have to do with what's going on right now?
I think it has something to do with it because I do believe that God has another chapter in my life. Like, I don't feel like I'm just going to be a fighter and that's it, I feel like as I move forward and closer to God, He's got something else in store for me. And that's really exciting for me because I could feel it in my heart. And as I keep making the steps, walking closer to God and being faithful, I feel it more and more. So there is another door opening on the horizon. When that is and what it is, I don't know. But we'll see.
Do you think you're going to transform that into a kind of spiritual warrior rather than physical warrior? Is that what all this is about?
Well,
if it is as simple as that, it may not be.
No, I don't know if I would put it that way. I don't know how to respond.
I'm sure a lot of the game plan was to not let Fitch get it to the ground. And was there any point where there was just frustration that you prepared all this time and he still somehow manages to get onto the ground and get on top. Was there some frustration happening in there?
No, I was pretty composed the whole way through. I knew what he wanted to do. I know his strengths, and so I was prepared that he's good there. So I didn't get too frustrated. Little just disappointed with, I know that when I have a certain fire, if I can give an example of when I fought Damian Maia, there's a certain ferocity that I had, and this one, I had some good moments and I did some good things. I'm pretty sure did a lot of damage, but there wasn't that follow up in that. I don't know, just a certain effort, I guess, follow up effort. Say when he gets on top of me, and just kind of, it's a different feeling.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Rory.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.